Hi YouTube family, my name is Sonia. On this channel, we talk about everything real estate and financing. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. If you're a new subscriber, welcome to the family. Please do not forget to like, share, comment on my video. And if there is anything you want me to talk about in particular, you can leave it in the comment section. In today's video, we will be talking about some safety hazards you could find in a house or in a home. Okay, so what are some of these safety hazards that you can actually see in a house? But when we talk about safety hazards, what are we talking about? Safety hazards are unsafe conditions that could cause injury, illness, and death in a house, okay, or anywhere, maybe in a workplace or any other place. But these are things that could cause us injuries, make us sick. So what are some of these things that could cause us or make us sick in our homes? Okay, so the first safety hazard we are going to be looking at today is going to be electric hazards. Yes, electric hazards. This is stuff like wiring that is not done correctly, outdated or faulty wiring, right? Exposed electrical connections, improper grounding, all those kind of stuff. If we have improper wiring, we don't know what is going to happen. There could be an electric shock, there could be risks of fire. We have all these connections laying out there looking at us. If our kids or even ourselves, right, we can actually just be passing by and mistakenly touch this wire, and it's not going to be fun. I don't know if you've ever gotten stung by an electric wire, but I don't think anybody wants to try that. Okay, so if you have a home and you see these things out just lying there, do make sure to contact a professional that can help you work on that for you and keep you out of danger, because we don't want to take any risks. Remember, it's a safety hazard. We want to be safe at all times in our houses. The second one is going to be mold. Mold could come from stuff like leaking, damages, water, rain, I don't know, anything that causes the house to get it so cold that these things start developing more, right? It could come from inadequate ventilation as well. Like I said, leaks, high humidity levels as well could cause mold in the house. So these molds might not be the best for us to breathe in, okay? It might give some people that have respiratory issues a hard time actually breathing, and we don't want such health risks, right? So if you discover any mold in the house, or even leaks, if you discover any leaks in the house, well, do your best to actually get it fixed so that we don't have mold start growing at home. If you know that the ventilation is not the best as well, especially in the rainy season where all this water can be seeping in through some other ways, you never know, right? Just make sure your house is well taken care of. We have all these professionals out there, right? They can, even if you discover that the mold has started growing, you can contact them for them to come and help you work on it and give you a better home and safe to make you breathe good air. Okay, number 3 on the list is going to be asbestos. So most houses that were built before 1980 might have asbestos on the floor, on their insulation and all other material. And these asbestos are airborne and not as good as nothing. In fact, it's as good as nothing because it can just cause you health risks when you breathe it in. So if you are living in a house that was built before 1980, or you are about to buy a house that was built before 1980, well, make sure you test for it. Test to see if that place or that environment, that house that you're about to get or that you're living in actually has asbestos in it. If it does, then get a professional to help you clean it up, and they can actually direct you on what to do for you to make sure that you eradicate it out of that house, okay? But if, like I said, if you are in a house or about to get a house that was built before 1980, do yourself a favor and get this asbestos tested. It's for your own good, might be the good of your family as well. Because I don't know how much it's going to cost you, but it's way better than getting sick breathing this asbestos in, okay? So the fourth one is going to be lead-based paint. Most of the time, especially if you are actually in the market to get a house, most of the time they give you these lead-based paint forms, right? And they make you read it. And if your house was constructed before 1980, make sure they test for lead as well. And if you're buying a house for any house before 1978, equally try to see if you can test for lead, okay? Because less base paint, because who knows, I'm sure they might have those things, and it could be hazardous, especially for young children, especially if the houses start peeling off, right? So these particles are not good. You know, kids, they don't know the difference. They might just see it and want to try, taste all these things, and now we have to go to emergency. So if you're getting a house or in a house and you don't even know about it, you could just actually taste for these things, because guess what? If mistakenly consumed, it's not fun, because it's a risk, okay? So make sure we taste for this poisonous, and we have to remedy the situation, okay? So the fifth thing is gonna be a fire hazard. Fires are never the best, right? Of course, you're going to feel the heat and all other things. So fire hazards could include outdoor faulty wiring, overloaded circuit, improper maintenance of your chimney, especially. Sometimes people actually have to clean up their chimneys, which some people never do. And all these leaves, especially houses that have trees, right? All these leaves are falling right into your chimney or on top of where the surrounding area where your chimney is, and it's not cleaned up, okay? Your fireplace, your inadequate smoke detectors. Sometimes the batteries in your smoke detectors are not and maybe are no longer working. We don't even know all this. Even our fire alarms, sometimes the batteries are no longer working. We don't even realize it. Just take your time to actually check on those things. Make sure, maybe, I don't know, I'm not going to say once a month, but just make sure you keep an eye on it, okay? So that in case the batteries are no longer there, you can switch them for new batteries that are working, right? So in case of a fire outbreak, you are alert. It actually tells you, it alerts you, right? So you don't want to be sleeping, and then by the time you know it, the whole house is down. We don't know what it's gonna cost it, but hey, it's better safe than sorry. So make sure, if you find any of these things I just talked about, or even, yeah, like I said, just your fire alarm, make sure you check on these things and clean your chimneys as many times as possible within the year. If you can't get up there, pay someone to get it clean for you, because most of us, some houses have chimney, the fireplace, and all those things go through the chimney, right? And now, if that place is not properly cleaned, we don't know, one day we can have a fire spark, and it's not going to be good. So we don't want any injuries, and we just want to make sure we have no damages as well on the property when these fires, in case of any fire. So It's better to stay away and get our properties well fixed and avoid these fires, except in scenarios where we were not aware, in the sense maybe a fire disaster somewhere or something. But if it's something that we can fix, please do yourself a favor and get it fixed. And if it's a house that you're still about to buy and you see these things happening, or you see these things come up on an inspection report, please ask the other party if they could get some of these things amended or repaired for you before actually walk into that house. So the next point is going to be carbon monoxide and gas leaks. So most of the times, right, some of these gas leaks can actually cause us fires. So when you're getting the house, make sure there are no malfunctions or improper maintenance. There should be no improper maintenance of gas in the house that is going to cause us carbon monoxide. Okay, maybe you can find these things in your furnace, in your water heater, your stove. Just make sure all these things are safe. If you come across it, sometimes this gas actually smells, right? If you get into your house and smell like, hey, maybe there's some gas leak somewhere, take proper precautions, okay? You don't want to breathe these carbon monoxides. It's not good. It's a health hazard. So make sure you don't breathe these things in. If you just get in and smell something like gas, or if you think, hey, something is not right, just make sure you look for a professional that is going to be of help to you and actually tell you what is wrong with the gas in the house, okay? And the other next point is going to be trips and fall hazard. Trips and fall hazards could occur in areas like your staircase, your deck, or something, right? Maybe your floor is uneven, you have a cluttered walkways. Just make sure if you have like cluttered walkways, clean it up, get them cleared out, okay? Just don't keep stuff on the road or on the way that you know your family, your kids, you yourself, you're going to be walking toward. If you discover that the staircase is broken, or maybe they don't even have any ways for people to hold, right? Especially if you have little kids at home, please make sure that one is put in. If you're about to buy the house, please ask if these things could be put in. Like I said, especially if you have children, because we don't want no injuries. We don't want to go for emergency or hospitals. These things are time consuming. You might end up having to go for stuff like therapy if a baby falls, break their legs, or even yourself breaking your leg on the staircase that was already broken or was not properly put in place. All those things, right? So just make sure that we avoid these safety hazards in case we notice them. Even if we don't notice them and maybe we do inspection in the house and these things show up, just make sure safety always comes first, okay? And the last thing we're going to be talking about is going to be structural issues. And the structural issues could be from foundation, sagging and leaking walls, roof issues, okay? So make sure the entire structure of the house is okay. So if the entire structure is now, the house is shaky, foundation crack and all those things, and we know that it's not going to last for so long before we start doing repairs. Of course, if you know that the house is shaky, I don't think you'll be sleeping in there with all your mind, okay? You won't have peace of mind, because the next question is, what if I wake up and the house is down and downward on your body? So if all those things actually, you know that those things are not in the not rightfully placed or shaky, or all those cracking foundations, and if if you're in the process of buying it, have a good conversation with your agent and even yourself, right? Make that decision if you want to actually go get that kind of house, or if it's already your house, right? And those things you discover it, you want to get somebody to take a look at it, maybe give you an estimate and get it fixed. It might cost you some money, but it's way better than you sleeping and waking up one day and the whole house is not standing up erect. And this will actually bring us to the end of this video. Please remember, my videos are for educational purpose only. Do your research. I just merely told us about what could be safety hazard. Even if you don't agree with me, you have the right to do your own research, okay? So make sure you do your research, and if you have to ask more questions to people that actually are professionals in these different areas, go ahead and do it. But my videos are mostly for educational purpose only. So thank you for coming, for watching all the way through this video. And please do not forget to like, share, leave your comments. And as always, stay safe and healthy, and I'll see you next time.